Welcome to the Hidden Palace with Skyblaze.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Skyblaze, and this is the Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. So, on a random whim one day, when I was bored, because I don't currently have a job until Monday, I decided to have a look through Sega Retro for ideas for future episodes. And I came across a mention of Mega Man, also known as Rockman, if you are living in Japan. Now, a lot of people will recognise Mega Man for the range of games that were on the NES and SNES, and other Nintendo consoles. But there are a few games that did make their way onto Sega consoles. In fact, the first Mega Man game to appear on the Mega Drive was Mega Man The Wily Wars, which I have actually spoken about briefly before. Can any of you remember what that was in reference to? Maybe I should make that one of my end of year quizzes at some point. Anyway, moving on. This was published by Capcom and developed by Minakuchi Engineering in 1994. And this is actually a compilation of the first three Mega Man games, with an additional game called Wily Tower, which unlocks after you complete the first three games. Having briefly played the first Mega Man, good luck with that. That game is hard. The plot says that after being defeated at the end of Mega Man 3, Wily builds himself a time machine and travels back in time in an attempt to change the past and finally beat Mega Man. While we are effectively playing through ports of the first three games, there have been upgrades to the game's visuals as well as some new arrangements to the music. We also have an added bonus of battery backups being available for each game, which means that the password functions on the second and third games were unnecessary, so they were removed. Thank God. They had the red and blue dots, didn't they? And they were so hard to remember. I think I ended up having a blue and red pen and a piece of paper at the size, frantically tapping dots on a piece of paper. Password systems were the devil. So, as I mentioned, on completion of the first three games, Wily Tower option becomes available. And why are there so many wires? Excuse me, getting attacked by wires. So, as I mentioned, on completion of the first three games, the Wily Tower option becomes available, where you'll go up against three unique Robot Masters who are actually based around characters from the Chinese novel epic, Journey to the West. So, I'll talk a bit more about that after this music break, but first of all, I've had so many music requests. It's funny how many requests you get when you're not talking about something weird and obscure that nobody's heard of. So, our first track for this evening is from Mega Man The Wily Wars, and it's the Elecman stage, requested by Pocket Larry. And then we have from Joshua Morse, Screw Mega Man, I'm taking over, from the Heroes vs Villains OC Remix album. Please enjoy those, and I'll be back after this music break to talk a bit more about the Wily Wars. And we are back. Yeah, sorry about my delayed return there. Thanks, Viper, for posting that extremely cursed image. Dear God. That was Joshua Morse, Screw Mega Man, I'm Taking Over the World from the Heroes vs. Villains OC Remix album, which I have posted a link to in the chat. Oops. And before that we had from Mega Man The Wily Wars, the Elecman stage, requested by Pocket Aleri. So, I was talking about the 3 unique robot masters that you get in Mega Man The Wily Wars. So, we have Buster Rod G, stop sniggering at the back, who is based off Sun Wukong, Hyperstorm H being based off Zubaji, and Mega Water S being based off Sha Wujing. This trio are known as the Genesis Unit. Gosh, I wonder why that could be. One thing that sets the Wily Tower fights apart from the previous Mega Man games is that the defeated Robot Masters here do not give you any weapons. Instead, you are given the opportunity to start at the start of each level to load yourself up with up to 8 weapons and 3 support items from across the first 3 Mega Man games. It's almost like a roguelike loadout type situation, isn't it? Like you're going through and you're unlocking all this stuff and that to use in the end game, which is interesting. I wonder if any other Mega Man game. I'm not a huge Mega Man fan. I've not played a lot of them, but I wonder if there are any others that have used that sort of setup, because that's pretty interesting. Well, so only once you have defeated the Genesis Unit are you allowed to take on Dr. Wily. Interestingly, this game was never physically released in the USA, as the only way you could play it was through the Sega Channel, and here we get to where this game has come up in my show before, because of course I have done a show about Sega Channel. But the US did eventually get a physical release of sorts, as it was available on the Mega Drive Mini when that came out in 2019. And a digital version became available on Switch in 2022 through the Nintendo Classics service. That's the one where you need Nintendo Switch Online subscription to actually use, isn't it? Which is probably why I don't have it. I pay for PlayStation Plus, and I use that more because I have other methods of playing retro games. Moving on. Yo ho fiddle-dee-dee. So, before I move on to the next game, let's have some more music, shall we? So, also from Mega Man The Wily Wars, and this is another request, we have Wily's Tower Stage 1, that was requested by Souls. And then after that we have from Sixto Sounds, The Skull Fortress, which is a remix of the Dr. Wily theme, from our friends over at OC Remix, again. There are some absolutely excellent Mega Man remixes. I suggest you go over to OC Remix and have a listen if you are curious, but there's quite a lot of them. Doan's saying I can't stand monthly services for games. They make me so anxious that they'll go away. Yeah, it's not ideal. Electrobugler is saying there was also a Capcom licensed retro bit cartridge re-release a few years ago. Okay. Right, let's have some music then. So, here we go with Mega Man The Wily Wars, Wily's Tower Stage 1, and then from Sixto Sounds, The Skull Fortress. Enjoy.
Rexy here. While I'm not diving into the wonderful world of Sega remixes, I like to look up and study lots of things about the world around us. That's why I'm glad to hear The Hidden Palace, hosted by Skyblaze, right here on Radio Sega.
And we are back. And that was Sixto Sound's The Skull Fortress, Dr. Wily OC remix. It's a great track, that one. And before that we had from Mega Man The Wily Wars, Wily's Tower Stage 1, requested by Souls. So, following hot on the heels of this game, we have our next entry, which is Mega Man for the Game Gear. This one was developed by Freestyle and published by US Gold. Remember them? Anyone who had a Commodore 64 or Sinclair or, you know, any of those 8-bit games of the 80s and 90s would be very familiar with US Gold. So, published by US Gold in 1995, this game does its best to be faithful to the previous Mega Man games that were found on other platforms. It does manage to retain much of the same playstyle, music, graphics, controls, and even using some of the same Robot Masters from Mega Man 4 and 5. As you might expect, there were certainly some differences to be seen. The most obvious is the screen resolution. The NES has 256 pixels by 240 pixels, while the Game Gear only supports 160 by 144. It's a bit of a difference. Meaning the screen appears to be much closer than you prefer, so you'll need to take more chances when navigating throughout the level. Taking leaps of faith similar to what you'd see on other Game Gear titles like Sonic Chaos. Ah yes, Sonic Chaos on the Game Gear. Insert Vietnam War flashback here. Yeah, I didn't own a Game Gear back when they were like new, but we have a couple of them kicking around now. I think only one of them is actually working. They all need repairs and recaps. And one of them is destined for an experiment at some point when I can actually afford the parts to do it. So, Electropubble is saying Freestyle was based in Sheffield at one point. Oh, that's interesting. And was formed by the founder of Gremlin Graphics and Core Design. Wow, okay. We love Sheffield. Sheffield's a great city. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. There's a weird amount of game development in the north of England. So, like Newcastle, Leeds, Sheffield. There's a slightly disproportionate amount of it compared to what you might expect. Probably going back to the days of like the Sinclair Spectrum and stuff when it was very easy to learn how to program on one of those. So new companies for games were being set up left, right and centre. A lot's changed since then, but you know, some things haven't. Was it? I'm trying to remember who it was who became the ultimate play. The game became. Did they become Core, or was that someone else? My brain's not working. Anyway, back to the actual topic that I'm meant to be talking about. Where was I? Ah, yes. So, Mega Man can only have 2 Buster shots available on the screen at once, compared to the more common 3 shots on the NES. You also have no continues. So if you lose all of your lives, that's your lot. Game over, back to the start for you. However, there is still a password function, so you can at least pick back up where you left off if you remember to record your password correctly. I'm not entirely sure I assume it's using a password dot system. Some of the other early Mega Man games, but I am not 100% sure. Ultimate Play became rare, that's right. Oh god. Such a long time ago. I loved Ultimate Play the game stuff. On the Commodore 64. Because I am very old. Right. The final difference is with the Robot Masters themselves, who consist of Stone Man, Bright Man, Napalm Man, Star Man, Wave Man, and Toad Man. I'm going to loop my talk bit before I run out. All of these move faster and are far more aggressive than their NES counterparts, so you'll be in for a challenge if you plan to play this yourself. Because, you know, the Mega Man games on the NES were not notorious enough for their difficulty. So, yeah, I suspect you'll need Twitch reflexes for this one, if you want to play this one. Or save states. That's the other way around it, I suppose. And Green Chaos Symbol is saying, and finally the worst Robot Master, Man. It's just a bloke in a suit. Although that reminds me of that, the normal type trainer from, yeah.
God. The guy who isekai'd into the
Well, let's have some more music, shall we? So from Mega Man on the Game Gear, we have Stone Man, which was again requested by Souls, and then from Mega Man: The Wily Wars, because I couldn't fit it in earlier, we have Wily's Tower Stage 2, requested by Electric Boogaloo. So enjoy those, and I will be back after this music break to talk about the last game I'm going to talk about this evening. Enjoy. And we are back. And that was Mega Man The Wily Wars, Wily's Tower Stage 2, requested by Electric Boogaloo. And before that, we had from Mega Man on the Game Gear, Stone Man, requested by Souls. Our last game is actually a mainline title, and this one is Mega Man 8. This was developed and published by Capcom, and released onto the Sega Saturn in Japan and North America in 1997. Sadly, there was no release in Europe or other PAL regions. This is also the first, and in fact last, instance of a Mega Man game having FMV animations, and you remember, like, really early voice acting in video games? Like, you know, Resident Evil 1? There's a reason that we actually started getting proper voice actors in to do that, instead of just grabbing people off the street or letting some of the developers do it themselves. This game goes back to that. Like, really terrible voice acting. Horrendously poor. Like, Dr. Light has a lisp, and I don't mean like a little bit of one, I mean like obscuring every other word. I don't know if it's better in Japanese, because I don't speak Japanese, but the English, oh god. It certainly isn't going to be winning any awards, except, like, awards for how bad it is, so, like, the Golden Raspberries or something. Ouch. My love, if you can look up some like, video clips or something of it, and post them in the chat, because you have to see and hear to fully comprehend the horror. But I will carry on in the meantime, because I am here for a reason. So our game begins with one of these FMVs with the awful voice acting, where deep in space we see two mysterious figures who are wreathed in a strange energy, who are battling each other. After one final attack, they are seen hurtling through space, only to crash land on Earth. We then cut to Mega Man, who is fighting against his rival base, when Dr. Light sends Mega Man an urgent message telling him about the strange energy reading he has detected, which is now falling to Earth. Mega Man needs to help him locate the source of it and keep it from falling into the wrong hands. I mean, you don't even know what it is. Why you were... Never mind. So along with being on... where was I? Oh yes, gameplay is similar to the majority of other Mega Man games, but we do see a couple of changes, which makes it fairly unique compared to a lot of its predecessors. Namely, the fact that you can use multiple weapons on screen simultaneously, and you have access to the Mega Buster at all times. Along with being on the Sega Saturn, Mega Man 8 was also released on the PlayStation. However, there were quite a few differences between the two. The Saturn version has the inclusion of a bonus mode, which has official and fan artwork, voice tests, music tests, and a secret animation test for the FMVs. There are also various different enemy placements, additional effects making the background appear to be more animated, and the music for the Saturn version is in fact slightly different. Having seen footage of both of them, I would say the Saturn version is better. Like, genuinely quite a bit better. But your mileage may vary. So yeah, please enjoy the clip that has been posted featuring some of the awful voice acting. But we're going to have some more music before we finally dive into the Chiptune Corner. So from Mega Man 8, we have the Aquaman stage that was requested by Electric Boogaloo, who requested it at the last minute because apparently they'd gone to see Spinal Tap 2 at the cinema, so I let them off. And then from Mega Man X4, we have Opening Stage X, which was requested by Hydro. So please enjoy those, and I'll be back after this to go into the Chiptune Corner.
Gavi, and you're listening to The Hidden Palace with Skyblaze on Radio Sega.
And we are back, and that was from Mega Man X4 Opening Stage X, requested by Hydro. And before that we had from Mega Man X Aquaman Stage, requested by Electric Boogaloo. Electric Boogaloo saying, was just put on a Mega Man game on the Sega console that I only knew about today. What is that called? Super Adventure Rockman. Oh god!
Yeah.
The horror! It's apparently an interactive FMV game. I don't think I'll be playing that anytime soon, but moving on. Oh, God. Oh, Mega Man from Captain N. I actually have a Captain N cosplay, including the NES zapper that lights up when I pull the trigger. Because I'm a colossal nerd and, as I've already mentioned this evening, very old. Right, Chiptune Corner then. So, something a little bit different for Chiptune Corner this week, because Norwegian video game music band the FastLoaders are celebrating 10 years of creating music based on tunes from the Commodore 64 and Amiga. While they don't produce chiptune music exactly, all of their tracks are covers and rearrangements of classic chiptunes. So, and it's my show, so I'm saying that it counts, so there. I would like to encourage you to check out their Bandcamp, and I will put that in the Discord. And they have made 3 of their albums available on the Bandcamp: C64 Rocks, Amiga Rocks, and Ninja Musicology. So I'm going to play for you one of my favourite tracks of theirs, because I have actually been listening to these guys for quite a long time. I've actually got a couple of their albums somewhere. Progressive 64 and another one whose name I can't remember. But this is the FastLoaders R-Type loader. It's from the album C64 Rocks. It's brilliant, but have a listen. It's not exactly chiptune, but it's great anyway, and it's based on a chiptune track. So have a listen, let me know what you think, and I'll be back after this to close out the show. And I'm back, and that was the FastLoaders R-Type loader. I love that track. If you listen to the original, the melody is pretty much exactly the same. It's just done on guitar. Sounds brilliant. I recommend checking out more of their stuff if you did like that. So, thank you everybody for tuning in today. If you have any suggestions for future topics, you can reach me on Blue Sky, where I am at blazingskies.bsky.social. you can contact me on Discord, where you can find me through the Radio Sega Discord server, or I am Skyblaze42. Or you can reach me through the official Radio Sega social media channels. I currently have plans to delve back into the Atlas back catalogue and do, like, maybe some Etrian Odyssey, maybe some Rido and Soul... no, Devil Summoner. But if you have any other ideas, please let me know. I believe shortly we should have a Gavi with SNS. What is he doing? I think he's doing something. Summer soundtrack apparently is what he's doing, but he has been quite busy, so it might take him a little bit longer to get set up because he's been very busy. And Rexy should be around tomorrow with Sega Mixer Drive, but the full schedule can be found on our website, radiosega.net. Oh, Digital Devil Saga! I'd almost forgotten about Digital Devil Saga. I did have that at one point, but it was annoying me because. There's like, the central mechanic involves eating other demons, but you get punished with this horrendous status ailment if you actually use the ability, which seemed to happen to me every time I used it, so I was getting a bit irritated. Anyway, oi, Multiclass Geek, where are you? Because you requested a thing. And I'm going to put it on. So I've got one last track to go out on, which is the one that my friend Multiclass Geek requested before the show. It is still Mega Man themed. Some of you will know why. Yeah, I have a very noisy keyboard. Mechanical keyboard, yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great night. I hope you enjoy this last track. I should be back next week. Take care, everybody. And good night.
They say they're sleeping like a soldier trapped inside of an iron lung. Machines can keep you breathing, all that happens when you find it.
Enjoyed the show? Check out the full Radio Sega live schedule at radiose.ga/shows. Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.